don't look at any game different. We go into every game with the same mentality and same mindset to know that we're a strong country and we're never going to take a game off.
I will do whatever it takes to win, and if it is defense, rebounding, assisting, it don't matter. I will do what I can to help the team win.
Not just on the court, off the court, we try to stay together, do everything together, and be as a unit.
We always give 100% every game. From the beginning, good intensity, good attitude, and good defense.
If they're in the final with us, they're just in the way with us trying to get a gold medal. I know they lost to them last year in the semis, trying to get to the gold medal game, so definitely want to go out there and whoever's in front of us to try to get the gold medal.
We're back for the nightcap, the fourth and final quarterfinal of day number 4 at the FIBA U18 Americas Championship. Thank you for joining us once again. Jason Tom alongside Amy Audenbert. And Amy, we got Canada taking on Panama, the final quarterfinal. Canada, you've been talking about maybe could be a trap game for them.
That's right, and especially Panama struggled in their group stage, where Canada, they really coasted through their group stage. Foreseen as a trap game, but Canada head coach David Smart, he is concerned about Panama. More on that, let's go right to him.
That's legit. That's the only game we're worried about. If their best player plays, they're a huge threat. I mean, he is an unbelievable talent. And even if he doesn't, I mean, they competed well against the Puerto Rico team. I don't think they have enough weapons, maybe, if we play decently, if he doesn't play. But if he plays, I mean, it changes everything. I mean, so that's a game we're extremely worried about.
Team Canada is about to take the floor. And for the announcement of the roster, let's take a listen in with public address announcer Rod Mahood here at the Meridian Center in St. Catharines, Ontario.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Team Canada. Introducing first, number 4, Wessa Enzo. Number 5, Emmanuel Miller. Number 6, Joel Brown. Number 7, Tyrese Samuel. Number 8, Jacoby Neat. Number 9, A.P. Patterson. Number 10, A.J. Lawson. Number 11, Andrew Nemhard. Number 12, Giovanni Scott. Number 13, Connor Freakin. Number 14, Jaden Fediaco. And number 15, Charles Fediaco. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and please remove your hats to the playing of Panama and the Canadian national teams.
Nice to see AJ Lawson is back dressed with his team. A scary fall in the third game of the group stage. Yesterday, an off day. We may not see AJ play here tonight, but he is back dressed and on the floor for Team Canada.
That's a good sign, going up for a dunk and really snapping his head back on the court. So he's in the locker room, and although we're not getting an official diagnosis or if he's coming or not, it's good to see him warming up and on the court.
Once again, we have Panama in Canada in the final quarterfinal matchup. Already punching their ticket is Argentina, Puerto Rico, Team USA, and now the winner of this game will be the fourth team to punch their ticket to the U19 FIBA World Cup next year. Take a look at the starting lineup. Joel Brown back in the starting lineup with AJ Lawson out. You have Addison Patterson, Andrew Nemhard, and of course Emmanuel Miller, who's done everything for Canada in this tournament. We're taking a look at Panama, who are going to be missing a couple of key players here tonight as well.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate for them. Ricardo Lindo and also Jonathan Andrade, two, I'd say, maybe of their top players, and for them both to be out, it's certainly, even though Andrade is listed in the starting lineup, it's certainly, you wonder if those were both guys were both available, had Panama maybe been able to have some closer competitions or even win some more games in their pool play.
Of course, Dave Smart, head coach of Team Canada, has been with the national program for well over a decade. And then on the other side, David Rosario, who helped Panama lead them to a third place finish at the 2017 Central Basket U17 Championship. It is Panama's debut in the FIBA U18 Americas Tournament. As the clock ticks down here to tip off. This is the quarterfinals. We had the semis tomorrow and the championship Saturday. Team USA has stayed true on their path to what they hope to be a gold medal final, and Canada trying to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, this quarterfinal day has certainly been probably the most exciting in terms of everyone's 0-0, and like you said, you punch a ticket to the qualifier with a win. And while USA, that wasn't a big surprise, to be honest with you, but Argentina, that's a great one. And as we get into my favorite camera angle of the entire broadcast, as the official wearing a GoPro.
Really takes you inside the game. You hear Andrew Nemhard being announced here. Nemhard leading the tournament at over 20 points per game. Also chipping in with almost 7.5 assists per game.
And Jonathan Andrade is dressed and starting, so that's a good sign for Panama, and that's exactly what Canada was definitely at least focused on. You heard Dave Smart talk about that. He's one of their key players who missed some action in their group stage, and so you wonder maybe a little bit of strategy, keep him out, and like I said, this is the big day. You win this one, you're going to the semis. You're going to the Worlds next year.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I thought maybe a little gamesmanship, a little strategy there. Panama playing a little rope-a-dope, saying that one of their star players was out of this one, but he is in the starting lineup. As you see, Addison Patterson driving baseline, getting it on the corner. Joel Brown up top, Andrew Nemhard. They go right to the big man, Jaden Bediako, who had a 12-12 game. They tried to beat the shot clock, got nothing. Bediako had a 12-12 game after struggling through the first 2 games of the tournament.
Well, what was great was after that game, Jacoby Neath went to the media and said, we needed that. We needed to get him touches. For us to be successful further on in this tournament, we have to get Bediako warmed up.
Ooh, Nemhard has it picked off. Ill-advised pass there. Andrade pushing back the other way. Floater no good. Big rebound, Emmanuel Miller. Joel Brown. So smooth. Man, I was very interested to check out Joel Brown's stats through the group stage, and exactly what I thought. Doesn't stand out in any one category, but is there with all of them. Almost over 7 points per game, 6 boards, and almost 5 assists. Pulling up. No good was John Gunn, one of the best names in this tournament. Patterson draws the foul. We go to the line to shoot 2.
And Panama left Patterson wide open in that transition. Where they look to scramble, it's too late if he's already has the ball in his hand and a clean line to the hoop.
Taking a look at Dave Smart, the way he's been able to get all these players to buy into their roles. Addison Patterson is one that's really stood out to me. A prolific scorer on the AAU circuit. A guy who can do everything and is asked to do a lot, but on this team allowed to kind of play freely, and he has admittedly said himself how much he's matured in these last couple weeks playing alongside a U19 world champion in Emmanuel Miller and Andrew Nemhard, the leader and captain of this Team Canada squad. Andrade drops it off. Nemhard getting up defensively, the big man. Jesus Lombardo. Patterson with the rebound. He's getting bothered. They got to get it over midcourt. Does Canada. Emmanuel Miller picks it up. Takes it right at the size. No call. Ooh, I figured that should have been a whistle on Andrade, but I guess they figured the ball was deflected.
Panama's averaging 57 less points than Canada in the first 3 games. They're going to have to find a way to get that ball to fall through the hoop if they want even a chance at that golden ticket.
Ooh, Nemhard, great look to Brown. I thought for sure he was going to Patterson, but that court vision of Andrew Nemhard is on another level. Canada with some pressure. Nemhard pokes it away. Yeah, Dave Smart asking. That was a 10-second violation.
That's when the official just says, my bad, and moves on because they're human too. And
Coach, you got the ball back. Don't worry about it. Joel Brown. I said it when the tournament started. I think he may be not the most valuable player on the team, but I think he may be the most important.
Yeah, and it definitely is a bit of a difference, isn't it? But Joel Brown this time pacing it. As this tournament progresses, the scout is going to be to lock up the Nemhards, and there's so many other players, obviously, that you have to pay attention to. But Joel Brown does a nice job of kind of taking that leadership role when he has to, as other players are being more focused on.
Well, because coming into the tournament and talking to the coaching staff, I challenged them. I said, who's going to be your shooters? Who's going to be your scorers? And they're going to have to get it from everybody. And Joel Brown's one of those guys running the point, can share the ball, but he also had a couple of 30-point games on the AAU circuit this past summer. He can score the ball, and he's showing people that in this tournament. A 9-0 run for Canada to start it off.
He did a great job distributing as well in that group stage. Number 6 overall in assists, averaging just under 5 a game. So like you said, Mr. Do-It-All. Most deadly, in my opinion, in the open court. I mean, I haven't seen anyone in this tournament yet being able to not only almost find him in transition, but then stop him or slow him down. So good with the ball, feet are quick, and he's a really nice complement to Andrew Nembhard, who's a bit more calm and focused. They're definitely a deadly duo, and as this progresses, I'm more excited to see the games maybe get a bit more tighter and tighter and see those two work together.
Nice option for head coach Dave Smart to play them both in the backcourt together like he's doing here today. You saw him do it in the first game, and the second game brought Joel off the bench to play alongside Andrew, but then when Nembhard gets pulled off, Joel can slide over to that one spot.
What a good problem to have.
I know, right?
Worried about who to start.
And that's who they have on Andrade right now, Joel Brown. Used his feet, didn't use his hands, and caused a turnover.
Extremely quick is Joel Brown, and what's been great to his start tonight is, yeah, he can take anyone off the dribble, but hitting those outside shots as well.
Patterson pull up halfway down before it pops out. Joel Brown getting to the ground, gets to the big man Bediako.
Did Joel Brown just strip his own player? Say, give me that rock.
See if he gets a steal for it. Oh, tough pass, hit the ground hard. Addison Patterson needed to beat the shot clock, couldn't get it to drop. Panama, as you mentioned, has had trouble scoring at times, and they're still without a point. They're calling the illegal screen there.
That was a tough call. I thought the Panama player was pretty displaced. That was Jesus Lombardo. We'll take a look here. Maybe didn't quite look like he was set. I thought it was, for an international contest, I thought it was a pretty good screen, but Joel Brown also does a good job fighting through that, and it looks worse than it probably was.
First time I've said Emmanuel Miller's name in this game, which is shocking because we're over 4 minutes in.
Well, he has many names, right?
Yes. E-man, 3-man, mean man, D-man.
We love them all.
Yep. So does his head coach. Tough take by Andrade. Good defense by Brown, but called for the foul on the body.
Andrade listed as 5'6", and I'd say that's pretty accurate. He is a small guy, but gets in there, does a good job of getting to the paint and drawing some contact.
Packs a punch, as they say.
What?
Panama is on the board. Took them almost 5 minutes. Brown now running the point. Nembhard playing off the ball. No good. Bediako comes down with it, goes back up. Patterson showing a little bit of pressure. All over Gunn. That's almost another 8-second violation. Canada has done good putting that pressure on. Gunn from range, letting everyone know it was a 3. Nembhard, lefty floater in the lane.
Well, Gunn had it right for Panama. It was just a pump fake, one dribble pull up. Back to the basics, calm down, relax, get through your sets.
Gunn again, triggers it. Nembhard pushing back the other way. Oh, great pass, but better defense. Gunn picking it off. Cross-court pass, Lopez saves it. Over and back. I think head coach Dave Smart would have lost it if that whistle wasn't called.
Well, he had a lot of backup from the crowd too. You heard everyone, and sometimes that happens where everyone's just waiting to blow the whistle.
Yeah, who's gonna blow it? We all know what the call should be.
Panama's averaging just under 20 turnovers a game in this tournament, and when you get into these these playoff type situations against teams like Canada. Got to limit those.
Bediako fouled by John Gunn. You see Jacoby Neath on the floor for the first time for Canada. Neath, 5 of 10 in their last game on Tuesday. He had some added minutes after A.J. Lawson went down. Neath had 15 points on 5 of 10 shooting. Nice little added offensive punch for Team Canada.
You see Bediako staying in the game. He's usually out a little bit quicker, but Dave Smart also knows we have got to get him confident, touching the ball and playing, as they want to compete in a gold medal game too, and they're going to need that inside presence that's also efficient, cleaning up the garbage. He's doing a nice job getting his hands on the ball early on in this one tonight.
This Team Canada squad is focused, where every other country took yesterday's off day to head down to Niagara Falls. Team Canada decided to skip that, keeping themselves focused on the goal that they've had entering this tournament on home soil. Andrade,
and
a little too far.
Most of them have probably already seen Niagara Falls a couple times as well, and so I guess it's a little home court advantage, but I'm glad to hear that the other teams didn't, because it is a cultural experience as well.
So these tournaments are all about team building as well. Patterson will go to the line to shoot 2.
A great hustle from Oscar Zephyrin. Tried to get back and take that charge.
Emmanuel Miller checks out without touching many spots on the score sheet. And a few stretches where Emmanuel Miller did not have a major impact.
And if you ask him, he's probably totally okay with it. Let everyone else have their minutes too, because as soon as the defense half thinks I'm out of this one, you've seen him explode and go off.
Especially when your team's up 9. Yeah, I was waiting for that. The make-up 8-second call was going to have to come at some point.
Well, there's 16 seconds on the shot clock, so it's the right call. And this is where you can see Team Canada getting pretty scary, is when they go smaller, when they put Samuel in for Bediako. They're pretty efficient. They get that 8-second call, and Nemhard answers.
Andrew Nemhard is having himself a tournament. Great spin on the drive and finish from Edward Lopez. Lopez actually their leading scorer, but still under 10 points per game.
Yeah, they're averaging just under 44 points per game, Panama, and that's tough when you get to these international tournaments. And a lot of teams have these deadly shooters, and the ability to go on runs, it's really tough trying to find ways to score.
Connor Vreekin checks in for the first time. Jacoby Neath has it stripped. Andrade. Zephyrin gets it back to Andrade. Gunn coming off the screen. Weza Panzo D's him up. Tyrese Samuel giving up some weight advantage there, but Canada comes out with the loose ball. Nemhard to Vreekin. Thought about it. Pass is deflected. Still gets it to Tyrese Samuel, but sent back by Oscar Zephyrin. Jump ball. Hear the official saying, "You hear my whistle, stop playing." Jacoby Neath wanted to make sure everyone knew that he came out with that ball. The Panama with the rock.
Team Canada substitution back in the game, number 6, Joel Brown. He replaces Andrew Nemhard.
Lombardo threw a bit of a shoulder there into Joel Brown, moving around with the screen. Two minutes to go in the opening quarter. Canada up 9. Beat the shot clock, but didn't hit the rim. So the shot attempt beat the shot clock.
Yeah, And well, you see the speed on Jonathan Andrade, and he's a very quick player. But in terms of decision making, that's a tough shot. Even reversing against a longer player, they can recover with their length over that. And you saw him not even able to catch the rim. It's Tyrese Samuel getting called for the foul. About 94 feet away from the ball. Didn't see what happened there, but you heard the official say already, when the whistle goes, stop playing. So you get the sense that they're actually watching for a little extra.
Samuel and Dave Smart had a little conversation with their eyes. And immediately Smart looked for Charles Bediako to check into this game, as Samuel will have to go to the sideline. He's probably just having a chat with Tyrese saying,
what did you do?
Well, this is international basketball.
Yeah.
You have to remember that.
Tyrese Samuel averaging just under 9 rebounds per game, and Neath hits that one.
Told you, Jacoby Neath is all about confidence. When he has that confidence going, he can pour it in on the offensive end. Again, without AJ Lawson in the lineup, Canada definitely lost, 12 points per game there. And it's going to be Jacoby Neath who's going to take the opportunity to fill in the role offensively.
Again, going right into the key, you've got Charles Bediako just waiting there, looking to eat it up. So Panama's got to, again, they're only down 12 points. Got to be smart in their shot selection.
Zephyrin with the pull-up, no good. Panzo comes down with it. Neath pushing to Joe Brown behind the back. Neath faking it and dropping it. Jacoby Neath, back-to-back trifectas.
He had a knee injury last season, Neath, and so a bit more quiet in terms of the recruiting and all that because he wasn't on the court a whole lot, but you can see his ability to score, especially in the last game and this one early. When he's hot, it's going up. If you're playing with him and he has the ball in his hands and he's in rhythm, crash the boards.
Jacoby Neath plays out of the point guard spot with Crestwood Preparatory under head coach Ro Russell. Playing the one spot, but can score the ball at will. So many players on this Canada squad play huge roles on their teams during the year and their AAU squads, and they're all buying into a team atmosphere here, and so far it has went according to plan. No foul called. Canada turns it over. Panama with a chance to end this first quarter with a score. They're down 15. Lopez gets into the paint, pulls up, no good. Did not beat the whistle, missed it anyways. 22-7, Team Canada with the lead after the opening 10 minutes.
Now a little bit sticky at the beginning there, but Jacoby Neath came in, hit 2 threes in a short time and really opened it up for his team.
Team Canada 3-0 through the group phase, looking to maintain what Team USA has done thus far. A 15-point lead through the opening quarter. Stay with us. We'll be back. Second quarter action after a short break.
Now that's how I'm up before quickly.
welcome back, where you're going to get a look at Andrew Nembhard, who has done a fantastic job this tournament. The stat line is incredible coming in today, leading the tournament in points at 20 per game, leading the tournament at assists at 7 per game, number 2 in steals at 3 per game. He's done that all in averaging 23 minutes a game. He's playing about half a game, putting up those numbers. It's been absolutely incredible, and after that first quarter is 4 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal.
Joel Brown. Panza. Corner. 3. Vrikin. Count it. Canada showing a little bit of pressure. Gunn gets through it. Tough pass. Vrikin comes up with it. Finds Joel Brown. Silky smooth in transition is Joel Brown. Zephyrin called for the body, I believe, but what, you know,
well,
that wingspan, the way he follows through on that swat.
Charles Bediako, the true baby on this team in just coming out of grade 10 here, but he has to be careful moving forward with his length, because when he starts swinging like that, he's going to find a lot of officials that make that call because of how, when you swing and you're that long, it is so obvious. And so sometimes refs blow that whistle. It's almost like a muscle memory thing for them as well. And so moving forward, hey, all you got to do is put your hand up. You'll block or change that shot. And as much as the monster block is the fun thing to do, at some point you're going to get coaches that, as long as you're changing shots, you're doing a really good job.
Joel Brown off the Bediako's screen, wasn't quite set though. Vrikin finding a little home in the corner there. Couldn't get the second to drop. Bediako. Neath. Takes it at the paint. He'll go to the line. Neath rolled his ankle a little bit in their last game. I think he was happy to have that day off yesterday to rest that up, get some ice on it.
Well, the way he's played the last 2 games now, maybe it's a good thing. A little superstition, tweak his ankle a little bit.
Missed the first freebie. Canada's 10 players averaging double-figure minutes, led by Emmanuel Miller. Neath misses them both. The lead stays at 18. Zephyrin working on Vrikin. Panzo steps in for the steal. He's 1-on-2. Finds Vrikin. Connor Vrikin has really bought into his role on this team as a spot-up shooter.
And shooters in transition, they're not crashing the boards. They are staying wide. They're keeping that spacing, and you can see the rhythm shot.
We talked about that for Team USA and Team Canada, role definition and buying in. Right there is Jesus Lombardo, the leading rebounder on Panama, getting 2 in transition. Panzo banks it in. He probably likes to see that. Panzo started the tournament solid from range, but his last 2 games has really not been the scoring threat that we'd seen in the first game, so I'm sure he was happy to see that go in, even though it was a heavy bank. Here's Neath pushing, has it poked away.
And
foul called.
Even on that, you see the red jerseys. If that doesn't go out of bounds or with a foul call, that was a 5-on-3. The mentality of the Canadian team, as you're watching, you look at the red jerseys and all 5 of them up the court.
3 of the starters return. The leaders, Emmanuel Miller, Andrew Nembhard, and then Addison Patterson, the just turned 17-year-old. Bediako hands off to Nembhard. they're looking for Vreekin time and time again.
And what a pass from Nemhard. He weaved it through a couple defending arms, and he actually had to put that past Charles Bediako too with all that length. But I mean, that pass is so high level.
The two surprise selections for this team, I believe across the board, was Connor Vreekin and Charles Bediako. As Emmanuel Miller go to the line to shoot two. Timeout is going to be asked for by Panama, but those are the two surprise selections for this squad. Charles Bediako has shown just how important he's been, and then Connor Vreekin here with 9 points here in this game.
When you talk about developing young players and giving them opportunities, and there's nothing, you look at a Vreekin, and there's nothing more valuable than in transition on an international stage, spotting up and hitting a shot. That's the best work you can get in that role. And so you have to appreciate Canada basketball and the staff kind of not overlooking younger players with the future in mind, and that developmental kind of keeping the programs relevant while still developing young talent.
As the tournament moves along, more fans in attendance and more Canada basketball players as well. I just saw Brady Heslip of the senior men's national team step into the arena right across from the Team Canada bench. Brady Heslip played a number of games for Team Canada's senior men's national team, as they will be playing on June 29th in Toronto in another window to qualify for the 2019 World Cup in China. They also play in Ottawa on July 1st. So over the Canada Day long weekend, an opportunity for fans in Ontario to be able to see the senior men's national team coming off this U19 opportunity as well. Really seems like every game there's been another player who stepped up for this Canada squad, and today Connor Vreekin out of nowhere dropping some spot up shots.
Well, when you're playing a team like Canada that has a shooter like Vreekin in transition, you stop the ball, and number two, you find shooters.
Must be nice to play with an Andrew Nemhard. You know, if you're open, you're going to get the ball. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, keep your hands up. He might not even be looking at you. Be ready.
Canada's just ball hawking right now. Nemhard comes up with the foul, though.
But the right idea, because on these trap defenses, it's always that second line that it got to be really hungry to pick that off, because the trap doesn't necessarily steal the ball. It just forces the offense to throw a bad pass.
Panama having trouble scoring, which has been the story for them in this tournament. Emmanuel Miller pulls down the rebound. Canada pushing. Miller just a little off the mark with that pass. Andrade checking back in for Panama. Canada making it tough for Panama to get over half. At this point, when you know that Panama is struggling from the field, you really shouldn't be biting on any of those head and shoulder fakes, should you?
Not at all, especially when you're Charles Bediako. You can be almost two, with that arm, with that wingspan, you can be almost a step and a half off the defender and still be able to recover. And so again, younger player, and that's where you learn these things. You look at the film, and next time maybe it doesn't happen.
And Andrew Nemhard just did the exact same thing, but he recovered in time to bother the shot. Miller bringing it up now. Nemhard finds Miller. He's taking it hard. It's sent to the floor. He bounces right back up. Got the lumber laid on him by Jesus Lombardo. Bediako brothers switch off.
Yeah. It's not too, it doesn't make you feel like you're losing much inside, does it? And when you're playing against Canada and you think they they rotate, they're not getting much smaller with those two. Emmanuel Miller, solid group stage, to say the least. Stock definitely went up with the college coaches in the gym. Did a little bit of everything, but number 3 overall in the tournament at 18 points per game, and tied for 6th in rebounds with 7 per game. Doing that all in 24 minutes again, so using his time to be effective.
Andrade. He wanted that shot the whole time, was working off as many screens as he could find to get it up. Miller going right at the rim. Emmanuel Miller pushing the lead up to 30. I think what Dave Smart would like more than anything is the fact that they've kept Panama to just 11 points. I'm going to guess he's going to have a little challenge over there to keep him under 20. It's going to be a little tougher after that three-pointer.
Yeah, on cue.
Burning the play-by-play guy.
But still, I mean, they've played nice pressure. They're sending these traps, and they're getting some rotations on. Of course, the open three is going to drive a defensive-minded coach like Dave Smart a little bit crazy, but then you do things like that. You find a wide-open layup through an off backside cut, and it kind of softens the blow a little.
The first time I was able to see Andrew Nembhard play in person was at the signature All-Canadian game. It's about a month ago at the Hershey Center. And now being able to watch him game in and game out, I don't think I've seen a better point guard at this age coming out of Canada.
I mean, he's pretty stellar, and I hate to say it because I haven't wanted to say it all week, but if we do get the U.S.-Canada matchup, as much as I love, I know, big moment, as much I have avoided it all week.
She has. I have to give it to Amy. She has been solid all week.
As much as I love bigs and I love the bang game inside, I think I'm the most excited to see the Nembhard, Cole Anthony type matchup because they're so similar to me in terms of like their confidence, but their calmness.
Emmanuel Miller was looking to put a man on a poster. Instead, he'll go to the line to earn it.
Well, he's already done that this week. What fun would that be?
Another great look. A substitution cam. Can't say enough about Niagara College and what they've been able to do with the production here at the U18 FIBA Americas Championship. Bringing you all kinds of outstanding angles. Bringing you within the game as things move along. The final quarterfinal today as Canada looks to punch their ticket to the U19 World Cup, where they would be able to defend their gold medal championship from Egypt last year. We expect to see a few members of that squad in attendance. Of course, the star of that was RJ Barrett celebrating his 18th birthday today. And there's Jacoby Neath taking a dime from Andrew Nembhard. RJ Barrett just turned 18 today.
It's scary. It's scary how young and how much earned attention these players get at such a young age. You look at the NBA draft and the top 10 projections, 7 to 8 of them are one and dones out of college. They're only 19, 20 years old. This is a couple years, not even above from some of these young men playing. So the stages that they are going to be on is just, it's crazy when you think about it.
Absolutely. Bediako comes down with the rebound. Nembhard gets it to Neath. Jacoby Neath can't get that one to go. Nembhard just racking up dimes. Would have had another assist there if Neath could have cashed it. There's Nembhard with the rebound. Patterson, nice little pass to Bediako, but he is sent back. Furman Borbua. No call on the other end. Back and forth. Bediako said no one's blocking this one.
Not this one, no. But Bediako's got to get his shoulder squared on that one before. You can't just assume you're going to put it up because you have the size advantage. Power up, go for the and one. Go for that monster dunk like we just saw. Should be able to do that whether there's defenders around you or not.
It's like Amy's back at the University of Miami right now.
How's he dunking?
Addison Patterson getting up for a little rim visit of his own. The kid dent in the rim. 52-16 for Team Canada. Getting up with 2:15 left here in the first half. Aguilar loses it. Barbour comes down with it. Nembhard probably going to have another short minute game despite, you know.
We must have heard you, Jason.
He's like, I know I'm probably not playing the second half.
So let me.
I heard Amy saying that I'm leading the tournament in a couple different categories.
Yeah.
Despite the limited minutes.
He gets a couple looks. I mean, again, his release is so smooth.
The upper body's so silent.
Yeah, and not a whole lot of rotation on the ball, but it's always just right on point.
It's crazy to think that a year ago that was the knock on Nembhard, was his shot. And what we've seen at this tournament, he's put in the work. Oh, Neath just bullying his way in, and that was too much of a bully. Offensive foul called on Jacoby Neath.
Sending his arm to clear a little bit of room.
The bench trying to keep Panama positive. I think that's what I like so much about these youth tournaments. Doesn't matter the score, doesn't matter the outcome. The coaches are consistently coaching and teaching these players, because if they're involved now, they're going to be involved as things move on to the senior level.
Yeah, and again, they're playing tomorrow, and they're playing on Saturday. You leave with a 1 through 8 place, and Panama,
Nobody wants to be number 8.
No, and I mean, at least you want to go down fighting hard, and they lost a couple days ago to the U.S. by 92 points, so they definitely have a bit of pride that they want to continue to fight for.
Giovanni Scott in the game for the first time today.
Well, we talked about Panama being short at least one of their studs, Ricardo Lindo, who in that Central Basket bronze medal game last year had 39 points and 19 rebounds, including 10 on the offensive end. So you have to think he's on the bench, he's here. If he was able to play even just a little bit, he would draw a bit more attention. You just don't know, right?
Andrade into the corner 3 is no good from Zephyr, and Gunn has it sent back. Panzo hurt his ankle on the play. Neath pushing it back the other way. Takes it into the body and gets swatted. Neath, I think, banged himself up. 2 Canadians are hurting on the play right now. And as it continues, Lopez, no good.
Yeah, during the live ball, like, they're not stopping the play, and Panzo, kind of brave, stayed down on the ground when the play was coming back the other way. But again, you see him limping, and said it last game, you hope it's just an ankle sprain, which it does look like, which in a basketball gym, they're like, all right, well, if you're going back in, we're gonna tape it a little bit more, and if you're not, let's ice it up. But
both Panzo and Jacoby Neath limping on that play. We've mentioned a couple different times that 6 games in 7 days, injuries are always a concern. Tyrese Maxey was out for Team USA in their game today with an ankle injury. The fans were counting it out, but nobody else was. 0.4 left on the clock. Got to play out these fractions of a second. Ooh, I thought that had a shot. A 40-point lead for Team Canada as they hold Panama to just 16 points through the first 20 minutes of this one, Amy.
yeah, I thought they did a great job with that pressure defense, and especially throwing traps, and Panama just mostly having a hard time finding good shots. And that's got to be their focus in the locker room is, hey, you still work your offense, you still run through your screens, and then you just calm down and you take the open shots.
I think Canada will be happy with the defense that they put on, the pressure that they put on the full court to be able to bother these guys. And as they move forward in this tournament, they're going to need to implement all those defensive schemes, and they've been able to apply a lot of them. Dave Smart still working the officials right now as we head into the halftime break. Don't tell him it's a 40-point lead. He wants to get some answers so he knows as we get into the semis what the refs are going to call. 56-16 Canada through 20 minutes. Stay with us. Third quarter action after the halftime.
Let's have them up the floor quickly.
This crowd is going to be loud here. They really get behind the team.
World Cup qualifiers were meant to bring basketball home to the home nations.
Vargas drives in and scores. The party's on. Now Brasino flies in. Goes Howdy A. Carter on the putback. 4-on-1, back to Grass. Roll! It goes in for the dunk. Scola. Wow. So in, and Samus Reyes flies in for the dunk. What a play that is. Right, that's what it means. Great win for the Uruguayans.
Turn them up the floor quickly.
Welcome back to the quarterfinal matchup between Team Canada and Panama. 56-16 is the halftime score, but Amy, although it's a little lopsided on the scoreboard, there's one stat that really is not lopsided at all.
Yeah, the shooting percentage. Canada's only taken 5 more attempts than Panama, but Panama's shooting 18%. Canada's sitting just under 61, so when you want to talk about shot selection and efficiency, that's what Canada's been doing the entire tournament. Another thing they've been doing is that high pressure defense, and so they've done a great job of jumping out in traps and really forcing Panama to turn that ball over and get flustered. Canada's actually turned 13 turnovers into 14 points, and it's that second pass, and it's because of the front line flustering. And so, again, not looking at the score coming out, they're going to continue to put that pressure on, getting ready for the semifinal, and for them, hopefully, the final game.
Front line flustering, I love that. An Amyism, our first of this tournament. I'm going to remember that one, I'm going to write it down. But it very well described, because, you know, Canada's length, Canada's active on defense, the reason for Panama being held to just 16 points in that first half.
Yeah, and shooting's been kind of the struggle for them this tournament. In that US game, they ended up only shooting 12% from the field. And so you come to these international tournaments and you're playing some of the best teams in Americas, if not the world, and you have to score the basketball. As much as that man right there, Dave Smart, loves defense, and most coaches do love defense, you have to be able to score.
Andrew Nembhard, of course, leading the way for Canada. It'll be interesting to see how the rotations work out the rest of the way if this remains a lopsided affair. We've seen that Canada has played 10 players at 10 minutes per game or more, and a couple of guys nursing some injuries as well.
Yeah, in one way, it's a great problem to have, but I was just having this conversation at halftime. At what point do you start shortening the rotation in terms of just getting that continuity looking ahead? You go up lots, you want to play all your players, and you want to get every minute, all the minutes, but then the flip side is that you do want to get your rotation kind of set, but with only 2 more games, I guess you just go with what's been working and make your in-game adjustments. Again, these are some of the best players in their respective countries, and they'll figure out how to win games as we get a look at my favorite angle. It's like you're the ball.
Canada going back to their starters here to start the third quarter. Joel Brown right up on Andrade. Gunn. Entry pass is denied by Jaden Bediako. Zephrine hands it back off to Gunn. From range, bank shot is good. Don't think he called it, but they're going to count it.
Well, they're going to take it. And Panama working a bit of a zone defense. That's and another big answer from Patterson. That's just mean.
He's got the little smile on.
But Andrade got caught behind the zone, and that is unfortunate for Panama because they had such a nice start.
Lombardo to Andrade. Oh, Panama comes out, hits their first 2 shots of the second half. Nembhard off the Bediako screen. Emmanuel Miller. Down low, Bediako, nice ball movement by Canada. Patterson couldn't get it to go. Bediako offensive rebound back out to Nembhard. Foul line jumper, no good. Oh, I think that was a sell job by Panama, but it works. Bediako called for the foul.
Yeah, Gunn maybe got a little pressure and decided to go all the way with it. But you can see Panama coach David Rosario coaching his team up. Hey, if that's what we got to do to chip back in, or at least generate some more scoring opportunities.
Andrade, pull up. No chance of that one going in. Emmanuel Miller now pushing back the other way. Takes it right at the defender. They're calling that a charge, even though Lombardo, I don't think was even facing the ball.
Emmanuel Miller doing a nice job. Go until someone stops you. But that, yeah, it's a side hit. I thought Lombardo had great effort into getting his feet back and planted, which I liked, but the angle was the shoulder.
I guess his feet were set.
His feet were set. That's what I looked at his feet and thought, oh, that was great. But then you look at the replay and you saw the hit from the side. A little bit interesting, but hey, there's nothing like beating a guy to the position and owning your space.
Good start for Panama in the third quarter here. They've been able to get something going on offense. Lombardo pulls up over Bediako. Patterson, rebound, push, and pull up. And cash. Confidence from Addison Patterson. Hasn't really had the shot going yet today. Third quarter has been a bit of a different story for Patterson. And he gets up to bother Gunn on that shot. Nembhard immediately looking at where his teammates are. Brown gets to the baseline. Nice little drop off to Bediako, tips it in.
Panama slamming the ball down because it looked like the two defenders had their hand on that one too.
Gunn, cross court, Andrade, picked off by Patterson. He has been active in this third quarter, has Addison Patterson. Turned 17 on June 9th. Slicing and dicing, and tapping in his own miss is Addison Patterson.
And that's probably the things that the Panama coaching staff can't live with. It's second chance opportunities, and they're very consistent in the second half. So again, you don't look at the scoreboard, but what are you doing out there now? And giving up those quick little easy taps, those are more effort-based, communication-based.
Ooh, Lombardo just working Bediako to beat the shot clock off glass. I didn't think Dave Smart would be happy. He does not like what he's seeing on the defensive end right now. Canada getting pretty comfortable, up 43. A short break. We'll be back. Third quarter action, the final quarterfinal of the day.
Now that's how to mop the floor quickly.
I'm going to say that Dave Smart is actually okay with being upset right now. It's an opportunity for him to slam back into his players. We are not where we need to be right now.
Exactly, and that's the toughest thing, and that's what the head coach's job is, right? Is an extension of Nembhard on the court. You're going to see an extension of Dave Smart. But yeah, you've got to keep your guys on their toes and stop looking at the scoreboard and keep your head focused on where you want to be. It's a hard thing to do.
They're going right to Bediako off the timeout. This has not been a good 4 minutes for Canada. Been bailed out by Patterson getting it going offensively, but otherwise not stuff that they want to see. Joel Brown trying to pick Andrade's pocket, comes up empty. Miller leaping at Gunn. One dribble, three is cash. Joel Brown pushing the other way for Canada. Nembhard calls out the offense. Patterson has been the offense for Canada here in the third. Gives it up. Bediako comes down with it, back out to Patterson. Thought about it. Oh, Brown. He hits the ground time and time again. Takes it at the rim. consistently.
He does a great job, obviously, continuing to talk about his quick feet, but he does a great job of keeping his head up, especially when he's attacking the rim, because so many times you see him kind of weave in and out of defenders, where if your head's down, sometimes you see players whose feet are too quick for their head, so they get travels, charges. He's really good at avoiding that because he kind of weaves through help defenders and still finds the hoop.
The lefty Joel Brown, being a southpaw, just adds to his craftiness. Gunn comes down with it. Patterson gets his hand in the passing lane. Joel Brown cut off that inbounds pass. Great view. Seeing the play evolve in front of you. Gunn gets it up, no good. Samuel with the rebound. Brown headmans to Neath. Quick trigger, Jacoby Neath.
And he's got these bright red shoes on, right? So you see him catch left, right, or right, left in transition. And when your feet are going, you gotta let it rip. I mean, it's a flawless release.
Patterson pulls it down. Neath finds Brown. Oh, Addison Patterson continues to put together his own mixtape here at the FIBA Americas U18.
Attitude, weak side rebounds. He times that, gets behind the defense.
Length for days, Addison Patterson. Out the open floor, Tyrese Samuel to Brown. Easy two. Timeout for Panama. Canada has got it together. The last, we talk about breaking it down into 2 minutes. I think Dave Smart's happy about the final two that he just saw.
Yeah, and the best part about that, if you're Dave Smart, is the response out of the timeout. He called the timeout because he wasn't happy. Still chatting there with Jacoby Neath, who hit that beautiful shot, but something tells me he's talking about moving off the ball and still contributing. It's nice when you hit shots, but when you don't have the ball in your hands, what are you doing?
Addison Patterson has caught a couple of bodies in this tournament, and right here coming off the weak side.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Look at the timing on this. You can't even see him in your screen yet, but he slides under Gunn and just, again, times it perfectly, which gives him that angle to throw it down. But and Gunn kind of, hey, kids, if you're watching, shot goes up. You don't ball watch. You got to find someone and get a body on them.
4 minutes left in this third quarter. After a pretty messy start to the second half, Canada has got it together and now up 48 points.
And a big key, you see right there, Michael Meeks chatting with Charles Bediako. He's also putting a lot of work in with older brother Jaden Bediako. No one wants to see those two succeed more than Michael Meeks, who was a prolific big in his own time as well. Canisius College standout, 118 career starts. He is used to playing and being effective. He has records, and he is constantly in the ear of those bigs coaching him up. He knows how important they are.
Mike Meeks from my hometown of Brampton, Ontario. I grew up reading about his exploits in the local paper.
How about Leo Routens has his son Samuel, as that stepped out of bounds on that negative split step. But Sam Routens going to Canisius College, and Reggie Weatherspoon doing a fantastic job with that program in the Metro Atlantic.
Routens has done a great job getting his body right up in Orangeville, getting himself ready for the second level. And of course, older brother Andy played a ton of games for Canada. Jacoby Neath sent back by Gunn. Brown cleans up the mess. Warning for delay of game. Andrade. Lopez in the corner, Vrikin watching him. Lopez pulls up. Tyrese Samuel. To Neath. Brown finds Samuel, watch out. Oh, Tyrese Samuel has it pop out.
Splitting of the red key. I mean, nobody wanted to step up and take that one.
Little give and go. Lopez gets back up top. Zephyrin gets it to Gunn. Brown, look how fast in the open court. Solid with the body control as well. Avoided the offensive foul, but could not finish.
Well, Gunn did a great job changing the shot, right? Didn't get the call he wanted, but changed the shot, and he's responding. So how about that? Takes a pretty big hit on the charge and then gets up, the ball in his hands. Late third quarter, playing heavy minutes, still takes that ball really strongly to the rim and gets rewarded with the call.
Patterson checks back in, as does Aguilar for Panama. Vrikin cuts him off. Called a foul on the body. Hand check on Vrikin.
And those are the type of fouls that really bother Canada because the game doesn't have flow and it's really sticky and they want to run and gun and they want to get out and beat you in transition. So when you get these little touch fouls up top, just stop the game, got to play over again. And it's not favorable pace for Canada.
Under 2 to go here in the third quarter. Canada well in control. Small goals now for Canada, probably looking to keep Panama under 40 in this game, maybe. Going to try to get it done defensively because they have not had trouble offensively here in the second half of this third quarter. Oh, steal by Andrade. They got numbers. Can't capitalize right away. Pull it back out. Gunn. 1:20 to go. Zephyrin into the corner. Panama's no good. Canada will get it back. 1:11 to go.
Well, it's interesting. Andrade gets rid of the ball and then stays weak side and kind of gets lost in the offense. And I think Panama, they probably want to run a bit more through him. Maybe because he hasn't been playing a lot in the tournament. He's out of that rotation in terms of not touching the ball as much. But he's pretty effective with the ball in his hands, even if that means distributing. So if that ball goes weak side and you don't have anything there, instead of throwing up a shot, if you got time on the clock, get it back into his hands and let him find something for you.
Under a minute to go here, Panama looking to get something together on the offensive end. Possession by possession at this point for Panama.
Canada's in a zone, so get that ball moving around. There you go.
76-29. Neath gets his own rebound. Gonna hold for the final shot. Good clock awareness. 2-second difference. Game clock, shot clock. Neath. Nice block. Panama will have a chance at one more shot. (76-29) through 3 quarters. We have a special guest coming up for you in the 4th quarter. We're going to be joined by a world champion. After a short break, we'll be back. 4th quarter action and a special guest for you. Stay with us.
You're going to dream. Dream big.
Here at Niagara College, we specialize in dreams.
And with the right amount of determination,
you can achieve anything.
When opportunity rings, pick up and answer.
Apply yourself.
This is your future.
Your passion.
Your life.
So what are you waiting for? Dream big and apply today.
Now that's how them up before quickly.
Niagara. Acres of vineyards and the award-winning wines of the Niagara College Teaching Winery. Craft beer from the Niagara College Teaching Brewery. Fresh farm-to-table cuisine from Benchmark Restaurant. Savor Canada's most unique learning experience at the internationally renowned Canadian Food and Wine Institute at Niagara College.
We're back in St. Catharines. I told you you'd be joined by a world champion, also a St. Catharines native. Abu Kajab joins us here in the broadcast booth. And how's that sound, Abu? World champion.
Sounds amazing, you know. I'm out here watching my guys play, seeing them do pretty well. They can always improve, of course. Very excited for this young group of guys. I think they can do great things. I'm excited to see where they go in this tournament.
When you're talking about that world championship over in Egypt, I talked to you when you got back and kind of just asked you, it hadn't set into you just yet, but here you are almost a year later now. Can you see kind of what that did to kind of help galvanize this Team Canada squad? You see this team out here. This will be the team defending your gold medal when they win this game against Panama. They booked their ticket to the U19 World Cup.
It's an amazing experience. I think these guys are going to have a lot of fun when they go out there and compete. It's very high-level basketball. You got to bring your A game every single day, because if you don't, you can lose. You know what I mean? And we actually lost to Spain. A lot of people didn't know that, but we lost to Spain, and that really gave us a wake-up call. And we realized that we had to be ready for every single game. So the next step for these guys is just to take every single game. Go out there and compete as hard as they can.
Hey, let's talk a little college. I always say, look, I'm a Canaan. I try not to blow up other programs, but I always say Oregon has the best swag. I was always jealous of your uniforms.
Yeah.
But anyways, you played 35 out of 36 year games this year. You had the opportunity to go in and contribute right away, which not every freshman gets to say. Pac-12, big-time hoops. What's your biggest takeaway now that you finally got that first year out of the way?
The first year, it's always tough because you're learning so many new things. And, you got to learn a whole new offense. It's a whole different culture. So, at first it was very tough adjusting to everything. But, after a while, after you get yourself situated with everything and you're really, starting to figure out who you are as a player and what you can do for your team and what your strengths are, I think that makes it a lot easier. The beginning of the season, I kind of struggled knowing what my role was because I wasn't really sure. And, after a little while, figured it out and just did everything for my team to win. And, that's the mindset I feel every unselfish player has to have in order for the team to win.
A lot of these guys are going to go on and probably some of them play in big-time programs like yourself. Now that you've had that experience, what type of advice would you give to those guys? Like you said, it's a tougher adjustment than people realize. You don't sleep in that preseason. It's 6 a.m. workouts, class, individuals, lifts, running, study hall.
It's really overwhelming at first, and I think the thing you got to do is, it's really about, it's a process, it's a process. You can't skip steps, you just got to be in there every single day. It takes commitment, determination, grit, it's very tough,
And you just get to wear the nicest clothes doing it and have
Pretty
the nicest shoes. You can say it, it's okay.
It's all fun and stuff, but honestly, like after a while, you get over that, and it's just like, you just gotta focus on yourself and try to get better, help your team win.
To piggyback on that, because I think, you know, to use an old analogy, a lot of people felt like you were kind of, you know, Robin to RJ's Batman in that tournament. So you were obviously a huge part of that World Cup championship, and people maybe expected you to go into Oregon and be the same type of guy right away. So I know you said that it was a learning process for you, but, you know, what would you say to a kid going in next year of the mentality you have to have? Because I know you went to kind of the energy. I saw you on the bench getting after guys. You know, how important is that to not get down on yourself?
Because, you know, some games you might play, some games you might not play. You know, you just gotta stay with it, and you gotta know that your time will come, and you just gotta stay patient. You know, it's all about staying patient and just believing in yourself and never losing confidence in your game.
I saw your coaching staff here earlier in the week, Mike Menega, and your head coach as well. And I know that they're looking at a couple of guys on Team Canada. I know AJ Lawson just reclassified as well.
Yeah.
The Canadian connection to Oregon seems to be strong. And who do you like on Team Canada? Like, who have you seen? I know you have a lot of close friends on this squad.
Yeah. You know, I really like Emmanuel Miller. He's my guy. We played together last year. You know, great guy, can play on both ends. You know, just overall a great dude. And, you know, he's only getting better every single year. Every time I saw him, he always added something new to his game. So him, obviously AJ and Andrew as well. And, you know, there's a lot of great guys on this team. I think if they just stick together and play as a team, they'll be fine.
So maybe you're hoping you're going to host a lot of recruits in the near future.
I'm hoping a lot of Canadian recruits, you know. So
that would be a nice.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice little side to it. What would you say, especially when you play international and you get right into college, is there a difference in style for you? Where would you say the biggest adjustments are?
It's more physical and faster. You got to really play with pace. You know, you can't. It's like you can't go out there and just try to go 100% all the time. You got to change your pace. You got to really know the game. You got to watch a lot of film. You got to be well informed with everything.
One thing I've seen in this Canadian roster too, and I know you played a prolific prep, obviously one of the top prep schools in the U.S., but looking up and down this Team Canada roster, you have, even in the starting lineup, you have a great mix. You have guys who obviously, Andrew Nemhard, national champion at Montverde, but then you have an Addison Patterson who's been able to stay up here in the OSBA. You have an AJ Lawson who's played in the NPA. You have guys now who all have different paths to get where everybody wants to go. What does that say about basketball in Canada? You really didn't have that option when you were 17 and chose to go down south.
Yeah, I didn't really have the option they had because, you know, at the time, the mindset was you have to go to the States to be successful. But now you can stay in Canada and do the same thing everybody's doing in the States. So, you know, it's just a big difference, definitely a big culture change. And I think a lot of guys are going to get a lot more opportunities to showcase how good they are.
It's crazy because it really isn't that many years from you to them now. It's just kind of happened quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yeah.
So you're a couple years off. But I guess it maybe made being away at college a bit more of an easier adjustment as not getting home. You kind of got that homesickness out of the way pretty early, didn't you?
The homesickness was, it was definitely tough. Oh!
I know.
It was definitely tough at first when I went to Prolific. I wanted to go home really bad. But, you know, I stuck with it. And, you know, I just told myself that I came here to be a better player. Sacrifices you have to make, family time, or whatever it was, I had to do it. And I just told myself, I want to be great, and just what I got to do.
And now you're back in St. Catharines, your hometown. How cool is it to be able to see a massive tournament like this right here in your hometown? I came to see you when you got back, and that was my first time in St. Catharines, and now to see just underneath the bridge, you know, FIBA Americas, how cool is this for you?
This is an unbelievable feeling. Like, I never would have thought growing up like that the FIBAs would ever be held in St. Catharines or any tournament. So it's honestly a surreal feeling to me. I honestly still can't believe like that the FIBAs are actually here. It just blows my mind. Like growing up Just never would have thought that, you know, just never.
So if you're the tour guide for this tournament, since you know the area better than everyone, where are the spots that these guys need to hit? Like, where does Jason need to just duck out at halftime and go grab a quick bite to eat?
There's a shawarma spot around the corner over here. That's the spot you got to go to. That's my go-to spot. I go there all the time.
You're after my heart with the shawarma. Abu's mom hosted me at his house and had a great. I know when you returned from the World Cup, I mean the whole neighborhood, because you know the Sudanese community is so strong here, and I mean they were out to support you full-fledged, and then you were also given an award here in St. Catharines as well, and the whole community was out as well. Talk about that.
Here. You know, it was an unbelievable feeling and experience. Really, like growing up, I never would have thought I could achieve the things that I can achieve, and when I achieve them, it just blows my mind and shows me like that anything's possible. And if you put the work in and you trust in yourself and trust in your work, you can do whatever.
And I think when I saw the pictures from that event, I think what excited me more than anything was all the young Sudanese kids that were around in that time. And you know that those kids are looking at you and saying, he did this, I can. And it may not be in basketball, it can be in something else, but the fact that you get to inspire these kids and what was so great about that gold medal, you do that in Egypt, what, a couple of 1,000 kilometers away from where you were born. And it's, like, that was amazing. It was almost like a homecoming for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I felt, when I was in Egypt, I really felt like I was at home because just this culture is like very similar, you know. I was there. I grew up a little bit there when I was a kid. My dad took me there. We spent a little time over there, and, you know, it's just an unbelievable feeling. You know, when I was a kid, you know, I looked up to a couple guys growing up, like Shinka Samba. He's one of the guys that went D1. He went to Chicago State. And I used to look up to him, and I'd be like, okay, I want to go D1 because he went D1. So, like, I could see kids, you know, my age looking at me and, you know, trying to do the same thing. And I think anybody can do it, you know. No one thought I was going to be able to do it. You know, a lot of people doubted me, but I just believed in myself and believed in my hard work because I knew if I work hard, I could achieve anything.
I don't know what else you say.
I know, it really is amazing. And this
is true. I mean, the story's incredible. We're all witnessing it. I mean, I might have to set my alarm or drink a coffee late to catch those Pac-12 games. It's a little bit later.
A little later games,
I mean, usually they're tougher to catch, but it is true. I mean, as you continue to develop through your college career, I mean, I'm pumped for you because Pac-12's a fun place to live. It is a fun place to be, and we forget this on this side of the world here, or this side of the country, I should say.
Great atmosphere in the Pac-12, very competitive, guys going after each other. You know, the crowd's very hostile, especially in Arizona, both Arizonas. Washington as well, that was a really loud stadium. The rim was shaking at one point during Washington because it was so loud. I couldn't even hear myself think, so, you know, it's just an unbelievable feeling playing in the Pac-12, and, you know.
We're hoping for that here Saturday night.
Hopefully.
A little bit of it.
Hopefully we pack it up for Saturday night.
Again, Abu Kajab, U19 World Cup champion, joining us here on the broadcast. Jason Tom alongside Amy Audibert, Tyrese Samuel from downtown. As Canada's lead is pushed up. I know you had the pleasure of calling the Team USA Panama game.
I did. I will say it was a tough game. And, you know, the worst part about, not say it was nothing bad about it, but what was tough was that Panama's effort did not fall. U.S. hit everything they took, and you can't expect them not to take shots, and it was a 92-point game, and afterwards I think we were all our phones were blowing up a little bit, and it was all over Twitter, and I had to reiterate again, it wasn't bad sportsmanship from the U.S. They just played really well, and Panama shot like 12% on the game, and it was really tough. They're kind of struggling in the same way right now, but you're not seeing them hang their heads. You're not seeing their effort go down. They're still being coached. They're still looking to their coach for advice. And so, yeah, Canada kind of doing the same thing.
I've been working the phone, seeing who's going to be here come Saturday, because I figured your squad, your U19 squad, would want to rep hard here. And I know Danilo Juricic is expecting to come down. And
coming in all red.
Yeah. Have you been reaching out? Do you know who's going to be here?
I don't know who's going to be here, but I'm going to bring as many people as I can with me. We're going to be out here making noise.
Look at that. The ref wears a GoPro. Have you ever seen that before?
I've never seen that. That's
Niagara
amazing.
College broadcast. I mean, it's the first time in a FIBA event that the officials, some of them have agreed to wear this GoPro, and it's the coolest angle ever. But back to your point, your mom's going to have to start cooking now if they're all coming in.
Yeah, she's going to have to.
Yeah, you got to let her know that that I'm going to be coming through because I'm here for a couple more days as well.
Got to.
And RJ Barrett just turned 18 today.
Yes,
your
it's
guy.
his birthday. I wished him a happy birthday.
When I came in, his mom was talking to him on FaceTime. He was exhausted. I guess he's down in LA working out with Dave Hanlon, the shooting coach down there. But he said he's going to be back for Saturday as well. And I heard a rumor, I have to confirm, I heard a rumor that there is a picture of you guys with that World Championship that was hung at the Team USA training camp before they came up here.
Yeah, I heard that rumor, you know. It blew my mind.
How cool is that, though? Like, that's where you're at. Like, you guys are now the hunted. You're not the hunters anymore.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, it's definitely, I don't even know what to tell you, to be honest. Like, I'm kind of in shock. I didn't even realize they had that in there. But, you know, it just really shows how far we've come. You know, it's Canada basketball. You know, people used to look at us as USA's little brother, but now we're beating them and stuff. So, you know, we're coming for everybody's head. And, you know, that's how it's going to be from now on.
And if that's true, it's almost a gut check for Canada now, knowing that they are the hunted. Because I always say this, it's different when you're chased or when you're being chased. You can work at the same intensity, but that inside, deep inside, it's a different mentality when you're the hunted.
Because you're going to get everybody's best game every single time.
You're right.
You know, so that's the one thing about it. You got to know you're going to get everybody's best game, so you got to bring your best game. You can't take no plays off, no possessions off.
But would you want it any other way, right?
That's the best way.
There's nothing like just warming up, getting, you know, you're ready, you're sweating, you got your second wind going, and you hit first. And so it's a good place to be in. I mean, they earned the right to be in that place, and that's the most important thing.
Gun from downtown, 1:45 to go here in the fourth quarter. Team Canada had about a 2-minute stretch there to begin the third quarter that I don't think head coach Dave Smart liked at all. And it was Abu was coached by Roy Rana over in Egypt, and very interesting to see, you know, two U Sports coaches who have been given these two age group teams, and both of them holding all these players to a high level, and all these players, depending, no matter where they're going or who they've been coached by, such respect for both these men, Roy Rana and Dave Smart.
You know, those guys really push you. They want you to be great. So, you know, they're going to get on you. You know, they're going to be on you about the little details. You know, they're going to be on you about everything, because at the end of the day, they just want you to get better. You know, because they want to win too. You know, even if, like, you're making mistakes or whatever, you play through it and all that. But at the end of the day, you know, guys want to win. You know, and coach will do whatever he thinks he has to do to win. And if he thinks he needs to yell at you to get you to go harder or to do something better, he's going to do that, because we need to win at the end of the day.
And when you come into these types of environments where they are only together for such a short time, and you've been a part of these teams where maybe it's a month or something, you really do. You have to buy into the coach, or you're probably not going to get too much burn.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, what's that like?
You got to buy in right away. You know, you gotta realize that it's not about you, it's about the team and helping your team win and doing whatever it takes to help your team win. So you gotta just really have that mentality going into every single game. What can I do to help my team win?
Remember, Roy Rana gave you guys, just because we're going to close up, and I want to get this one story out. Roy Rana gave you guys all cards.
Roll cards, yeah, with a roll on them.
What was said on yours? Do you still have that card?
I do. I actually have all 3 cards from my Canada. So mine was he put mine as the Draymond, guy that brings everybody together, you know, glue type of guy. So, you know, told me to lead by example, you know, set the tone every single time, and, you know, just be that leader out there on the floor.
That's a great role. You got to show up and.
Yeah, it's a tough role, because you always got to show up, and that's what I love about it. You know, it really tests you, and it's like, can you bring it every single day? That's the question. Can you bring it every single day, nonstop?
I see Giovanni Scott was hit hard and a foul there, and that was called an intentional, and I'm sure the guy who plays that role on this team, Emmanuel Miller, was your teammate.
Yeah.
And he's done such a great job of that. And then another person on this squad who was a member of that U19, assistant coach Jamie McNeely. How cool is it to see coaches come up with you as well? Because he's at Virginia Tech, so it's almost like you're coming up the same time he is in the coaching ranks.
You know, it's just like, it's just almost surreal to me. Like when I really think about that stuff, like I can't really process it.
Because you're still living it now,
I'm
right?
still living it, and I'm just like, when I stop to think about it, just like, I'm almost kind of like starstruck in a way, you know what I mean? So.
Canada matching up with Puerto Rico tomorrow. Have you played Puerto Rico ever on the international?
Yeah, I've played them in the FIBA Americas when it was in Chile. I think we beat them by 15 or so, but they were a really good team. They had really good guards. They were able to shoot and get to the rim, so they're a pretty tough team.
Things are going to start maybe getting a bit more tougher now.
I think we got it. I have confidence in my team, you know. As long as we go out there, play as a team, I think we achieve anything.
Well, Team Canada has done just that. The seconds tick off here. 105-39. Team Canada with the win. Everything holds true thus far for both Team USA and Team Canada. They're currently on the path right now to possibly meet up, but still a lot of basketball to be played, Amy. And I know you've been specifically saying, I do not want to talk about that matchup because there's still so much basketball to be played. And, you know, the semis, we'll be back with both semis tomorrow night. 2 great games coming our way.
I hope so. I'm excited for that. And I mean, I'm excited to see Canada really be challenged and dig deep and play well together.
Handshakes going on right in front of us. We got Jacoby Neath will be joining us post-game in just a second. And Jacoby Neath really, so I don't know if you were here for it, Abu, if you saw it, but A.J. Lawson averaged about 15 points a game through the first 2 games of the tournament. Took a nasty spill. One of those two-handed dunks in transition. And it turns out he's okay. But obviously, on the offensive end, somebody need to fill in, and Jacoby Neath has really done it in 2 straight games. He's got it going from range to fill in that offensive miss that you came with AJ out. And then the kid, Addison Patterson, just turned 17 on June 9th. 26 points, and then Jaden Bediako with his 2nd straight 12-rebound game. 2 young guys on this squad.
Well, that's big time for Bediako again. He's not going to hit all the shots from the outside. He at least has to get the rebounds and clean up the boards.
You got to. You know, rebounding is such a big part of the game. A lot of people take it for granted. But
they're tough to get, aren't they?
They're really hard to get. You really got to fight for rebounds, you know, especially when you're blocking out a big guy. You really got to hit him hard, get low, and jump up there and grab that rebound. You know, it takes a lot of energy. The guys who do it, pretty special, man.
Again, it was Abu Kajab, U19 World Cup champion, who joined us for this 4th quarter. And it was an absolute pleasure to be able to hear about everything you've done and the fact that you're here supporting your squad. And again, St. Catharines guy here, excited to see. And you know, there's going to be kids here both tonight, Friday, and Saturday who are going to be inspired by what they see on the floor here,
Yes,
Abu.
they will. Yes, they will. You know, when you're growing up as a kid, you always want to look up to somebody. And you know, when you look up to somebody and like, they're really your role model. You're really try to be like them. You know, growing up, I always loved Kobe Bryant, and I just looked at him. I'm just like, I want to be like him. So I used to just look up everything about him. And you know, also guys from Team Canada, Andrew Wiggins, always with him. Just try to see everything those guys would do, and just pretty much try to copy everything they did.
People don't realize the inspiration sometimes that you do just from playing a game like basketball. And Jacoby Neath is joining us now in the post game, and he's somebody who's played inspired basketball here, getting his offense going for Team Canada.
Jacoby, another blow win tonight, 17 points for yourself, but you did your work from beyond the arc. Is that something that's a main part of your game, or do you consider yourself an all-around player?
I definitely consider myself an all-around player, but shooting is probably one of my strengths when I'm going. I mean, but if I'm not hitting, I'm trying to get to the rim, but my shots are falling tonight, so I just kept shooting.
You guys booked yourself a trip to the World Cup next year, but more importantly, right now in the moment, you guys got a semifinals matchup tomorrow against Puerto Rico. What's the game plan going in? We know that if they get hot, they can score. So what's the game plan going in?
Right now, game plan, we're waiting on our film session tomorrow, so that's when we'll know the game plan. But right now, we know they're an up-tempo team and they can shoot the ball, so we really just got to close out on their shooters and force them to be playmakers, get into the rack, and just sit down on defense and win the game.
And we know you guys are all-world offensively. You guys can shoot the ball, no problem, but defensively, you guys have been next level these past 4 games. Can you just speak towards your guys' defensive game?
Definitely starts with Coach Smart. He implemented a strong defensive principles into us, and we're definitely a defensive first team, and then we could get on transition because defense wins games. We don't really have to run much offense if we're playing great D and getting out in transition. So definitely starts with the coaching staff because they do a great job on that, and definitely in the film sessions, knowing our personnel and knowing what these other players can do, it really helps getting into the game.
Just really quick, what's going to stop you guys from getting gold this year?
Nothing.
Congratulations. Good luck the rest of the way.
The confidence of Jacoby Neath. Team Canada will defend their gold medal at the U19 World Cup because of this win here today, but they still got work to do before they get gold.
Yeah, Puerto Rico is definitely going to be waiting for them tomorrow, but this is the story of this team. They win the game by 66 points. They win fast break 55-0. The scout is there. The scout has been there. This is a team that is looking to push off your mistakes, and so Puerto Rico's game plan is going to be to take care of that rock.
For Abu Kajab, Amy Audibert, this is Jason Tom signing off for everyone here in Niagara College, producing all these games for you. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow, semifinal action. We'll see you then.